Yo, it's good. Back doing the B vinyl. I just did the 1975 and the A, and we're down to the B. It's really, really hot today, so I'm gonna rush through this. I've got back from work and I'm sweating. So, but I want to get it done because I've got a day off tomorrow, so I can edit these and post them. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. There ain't that many. There's a lot of C's, so once we've done these ones, there'll be a bigger video next time. So starting off with the B's, it is Baby Two Phone Motherfucking Hakeem. Big. I was the biggest Baby Keem hater in the world. Um, Literally, everyone used to talk about Baby Keem, even before obviously people learned that he was Kendrick's cousin and stuff. And even after that, I was like, I don't really understand it. I don't really get the hype. I was just kind of like not into it. And then went to Wireless Festival last year. I think it was last year or the year before. Whenever Tyler the Creator was on the Sunday, we just went for the Sunday to see Tyler. So I went up there and we were looking at who else is on the lineup and stuff, and we are like, oh, Baby Keem's there. Maybe we'll go see Baby Keem. We don't know. So we ended up just going to see him because we were going to see Kendrick in Manchester later that year. So we were like, well, and he was supporting. So we're like, if we see Baby Keem, we know what to expect. Anyway, saw him. It was amazing. And I was like, right, on the way back in the bus, I was like, I'm going to just pop headphones in. And I was like, oh, I'll listen to Baby Keem. And then I got it. I was like, right, I fucking get this. I'll listen to Melodic Blue. I understand what people are saying when they talk about Baby Keem. He's different. He's exciting. He makes sort of like he has such a unique voice, and he has a really cool twist. And actually, you can hear a lot of stuff Kendrick makes on Damn and on Mr. Morale is inspired by like the Baby Keem style, or vice versa, or whatever. But it's present on there, and I rate it. I rate it very much. And I didn't pay for this album, The Melodic Blue. I used to work in an office, and they gave like incentives, and I got a voucher. I think it was like a 30 quid Amazon voucher, and I wanted to get it, so I was like, right, I'm just gonna use it on that. It's on black. I'm not gonna show you. I haven't even got any funky sleeves, but Melodic Blue, it's crazy. It's good. Listen to it if you don't know Baby Keem. It's a very important album, I think, for the new generation of artists of hip hop, because I think Baby Keem down the line will be seen as sort of like one of the big ones. Anyhow, moving on. Bakar, Bad Kid. So I posted this on TikTok ages ago. Just like I posted, I think it was like all the different coloured vinyls I had, and I posted this one, and everyone was like, "Oh, can I buy it off you? Can I buy it off you?" I'll get Discogs messages all the time. Can I buy it off you? Can I buy it off you? Can I buy it off you? Which I find jokes because I've bought it for like, I don't know how much, probably 35 quid off his site when it went up. Because I first learned of Bakar through 616 Crew and Blah Records and stuff. I knew he was doing a lot of stuff affiliated with people like Milcavelli and stuff back then, so I like learned of him through that. And then when this came out, I was like, oh, it's like indie and punky and a bit hip hop influenced as well. It's on this beautiful red vinyl. It's kind of translucent-y. It's good. It's a good album. I listen to it not as much now, but when it came out, I rinsed this album all the time. It was probably number one album for me of the year it came out. I used to listen to it all the time. But yeah, it's real, like I said, punky, and it's got a lot of like indie influences as well. It's definitely worth a shot. I'll show you this. This is like a little temporary tattoo that comes with it, but obviously I'm not going to use it because one, I ain't walking around with a temporary tattoo on, but two, it's just a sick little collectible. So, like I said, I don't know if you can get it much anymore, but back along, I was getting like messages on my Discogs all the time, like, I beg you sell it, I beg you sell it, I'll pay you 60 quid, 70 quid for it, I beg you sell it. And then even on my TikTok, people messaging me like, oh, where'd you get it, where'd you get it, how much, I'll pay loads for it. Like, it's funny, because like, to me, I didn't even think Bakar was that popular. I just, like, you know, had him through that. I know he's sort of like on, isn't he on like the FIFA soundtrack or something now? But yeah. Moving on from there, it's funny, like a lot of the albums I'm showing are kind of like more mainstream cuts. I mean, I have a lot of those, but I have a lot of more unique albums that will come later in these sort of series. But this one's Beyonce Lemonade. Again, I didn't pay for this vinyl. back along when I first started collecting. I'm sort of the belief that vinyl, you could kind of start collecting records before you have a player. Not loads, just a couple, because you want to just make sure that you actually want it, rather than sort of like buying a really expensive player and then not being into the hobby, and then that's a fucking nightmare. I ain't going to show you all of these, but look, it comes with a really nice book, loads of nice pictures. My mum bought this for me when I first started getting into vinyl, because I told her I liked it, and she was sort of surprised, I think, because I used to like rap a lot more then. I mean, I still love rap, but like it was like only thing I listened to. And it was in HMV, and back then when I bought it, HMV didn't have that many good vinyl. It was like only a small little box, and the fact they had like a cool yellow variant, I was like, oh, I'll get that. You know, like, got bare excited because I was like, oh, it's going to be really rare. I mean, it's not that rare. But at the time, I was naive. I didn't understand. And, I mean, I love the album. It's got, like, James Blake on it. It's got Kendrick Lamar on it. It's got Jack White on it. It's actually, like, one, like, of the year it came out, I was really into it. And even the, like, 2 years after it. Truth be told, I haven't even listened to it on vinyl, though. Like, I've just not got round to it. And it's not an album that I would listen to all the time. Even though I love Beyonce and I think she's, like, dead talented, it's just kind of not the style of music that I would go back to all the time. However, I think it's worth having in the collection, although I might sell it, depending. If I can get, like, a small amount of bread for it, I might sell it, because I ain't got much room anymore, and there's more records that I would prefer to have than Beyonce's Lemonade. So, that might happen. But it's not going to happen yet. Moving on, this is kind of a wacky album, I guess. It's the soundtrack by Bear McCreary, I think it is, to God of War 2018, I think. God of War. I loved this video game. I'm not one to get soundtracks and stuff, but I loved this video game so much. I was just like, wanted everything to do with it. I actually got it as a Christmas present from my brother. And at the time, it was really rare. He got it shipped from like Australia. But now you can pick it up in the UK, so if you do want it, it's not that hard to get. So I'm not gonna. There's no like coloured vinyl or anything, but there is some cool sleeves to it. There's one of Atreus as well. This album is like, I say album soundtrack. I'm not really into collecting soundtracks because I feel like it becomes a secondary collection. Like you start getting into soundtracks, then you need all the soundtracks of the films you like and all of that stuff. And truth be told, all the soundtracks I've got, I don't really listen to. Like, I haven't really listened to that more than once. It is great, and it's like the music created for God of War is amazing, but listening to it like when you've just got home from work and you just want to pop an album on is a bit like, it's not really the vibe. But it's great. So if you do like God of War and you want to know if it sounds good on vinyl, it sounds great on vinyl. And I think you can pick it up fairly right now, and it's one of those I'll probably keep as a collector's item. If you can sort of see down here, I'll move the camera down. You can't really see. I'll do a video about it fully later on, like another time. But there is the sort of box set for the new God of War on there as well, the Ragnarok one. So I like collecting God of War stuff because it's my favourite video game. However, that's what it is. I'm moving on now. Bus Driver, Electricity is on our side. This is amazing. When this album came out, I was addicted to this album. It's like, it's weird. It's the most jazz rap album I've ever heard. People talk about jazz rap, and then you just sample like a 4-bar loop, and then that's jazz rap to people. But this is jazz rap to me, man. It's like he is rapping like he is a jazz instrument over jazz and other things. There is like more boom bappy stuff on it as well. Really creative, really unique rap album. It's on black, so I'm not going to show you like the colour, but I recommend it. It's like 2019, I think it came out. If you don't know Bus Driver, get into Bus Driver. One of the most unique voices in hip hop. Really wacky, raps fast, slow, all over the shop. Excellent. I think this is one, if you like your more abstract hip hop, this is one to get into. Maybe not this album as the first listen for him, because it is all over the place, but in like the best way. And I was obsessed with it, still am. Haven't listened to it in a long time, but I will. I'm gonna get this. Has reminded me doing this collection video to get back into it. But yeah, give it a shot. If you like jazz and you like rap, give it a go. Still all over the place and it's still wild, but you might love it like I do. Bus driver, electricity's on the side. It's a definite cop. Moving on from there, it's the last B I've got. Brockhampton Iridescence. To be fair, I'm not even that big on Brockhampton, and their music's the sort of music you listen to like once an album, and then I feel like I'm sort of done with it, if I'm honest with you. But this album is my favourite album of theirs. I love the artwork and I love the vision behind the album. I love that it's got like a bit more of a UK dance mode aesthetic. The way they've like, it was inspired by the UK, made in the UK, and it's like, it does genuinely feel like a bit more of like a UK sort of album to me. I like all their work. There's not anything I think was bad. It's just, I don't return to it a lot. I do return to a few tracks from this, but if I'm honest, I probably will sell this at some point, because I've listened to it once on vinyl, because I got it and I was like, that's cool. Again, it was one of those that was in HMV, and I was like, this is in HMV. That's a weird album to be in HMV. Got it, and then like, just not really returned to it. Song Clear, it's a really nice clear, you can see right through it. Yeah, I mean, Brockhampton fans probably love this. And I am a Brockhampton fan, but I'm just not, I don't get it as much as other people get it, if that makes sense. I think they're cool, but would I listen to it every day? Probably not. Is it something that I would like listen on vinyl? Evidently not, because I've got it and I just don't listen to it. Yeah, so that's the B column. I've gone through the B column. Now it's on to the C. The C is probably my biggest section of music, like in terms of the alphabet. So I'll probably do C and then do some D and E. I don't even know if there is an E, but I'll do that. And we'll go from there. So this is a really rushed one. It's probably my longest video, but it is rushed because I'm fucking boiling, son. So I'm going to get going and go and get a drink and get out of the horrible hot room. But appreciate ya. See you on the next one. Peace.